Hi, it's Jeff Stier. I'm here with Vicki Porter. I know her as Vicki McKenna, wonderful radio show host out in Wisconsin, and we've talked about a wide range of topics over probably 10 years. Our connection became tighter when Vicki told me that she quit smoking using e-cigarettes. And the past week, Vicki has always been advocating for harm reduction because she's a real story about this. But this week she had a unique opportunity to tell her story, and there's a little backstory.
Well, I was invited to testify before the House Oversight and Reform Subcommittee on Economics and Consumer Policy on vaping. And the committee wanted, what I didn't realize until I got there, was the committee was just looking for ways to use the committee hearing to try to malign harm reduction techniques, innovative, non-FDA approved harm reduction techniques. So I was the one witness that was invited to share my story, how I quit smoking finally. And I was so nervous. I did my testimony, and I said, Jeff, you got to look at my testimony. And so Jeff tweaks it a little bit here and there and makes sure it looks smooth, and I'm saying using the correct terminology, and then I delivered my testimony, and it was surreal. It was I thought maybe I had an honest shot of making a difference, and it seemed like that committee had the exact opposite goal in mind.
Most members of the committee.
Yeah, most members. Some of the members were okay, but the majority members of that committee, certainly the chairman, who opens up with his opening statement, which was just absurd. It was so filled with misinformation that I almost opened with a different line about the chairman's testimony.
You texted me about that.
Yeah.
I was in a different event, and you're on the witness chair, and you're texting me. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so it was, I'm glad I did it. I actually think because of the crazy, bonkers reaction from one Congresswoman, Rashida Tlaib, and how that became kind of a bit of a trending viral story, I actually think maybe I had a better impact than I ordinarily would have had this just been a sleepy committee.
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people were paying attention, at least to our side. They were paying attention to the CDC's person. And then you came on and they were trying to kind of keep, and then all of a sudden, can you just tell us quickly what happened?
I was, we're getting close to the end of the hearing, and Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib apparently had looked me up. And so you know me as Vicki McKenna. I host a radio program. But I was there representing myself as just a citizen. I wasn't there for my program or anything like that. But she must have found my Facebook page and found a little bit of my bio. And she said, I looked you up, and it says you're a converted conservative and a reformed Marxist. Are you a conspiracy theorist? She said. And
at the hearing.
At the hearing. This is her testimony. Or her grilling of me.
And you were sworn to tell the truth.
And I was sworn to tell the truth. And I said, no. And she caught that I winked at a member of the committee who's an old friend of mine from Wisconsin, Congressman Glenn Grothman. He's been around Wisconsin state politics for a long time. I've known him for years. So I winked at Glenn, and suddenly it became, why did you wink? So I call it the wink heard round America. Because she started grilling me on winking at my friend, and I even explained he's my friend. He actually, Congressman Grothman, introduced me at the hearing because he knew me. And she was not having that. And so then she accused me of smoking.
Yeah, that was critical.
Which was weird.
From a substantive point, this is a common theme that public health heroes, every one of them who quit smoking, by using this technology, by using any e-cigarette, heat not burn, snus, whatever it may be, those people, to me, are public health heroes. Vicki is especially a hero because she talks about it on her radio show, and she subjected herself to bullying from Congresswoman Tlaib.
It was bullying, I would agree.
But you quit smoking, and now you vape. How did she respond to that? What did she say?
She said, you smoke. You're a smoker. And I said, I'm not a smoker. And she said, you smoke, or something like that.
Right.
And then someone from the back of the room said, lying under oath is a crime. And I had to say, I'm not lying under oath. Because it just, now all of a sudden I'm thinking, what are they trying to do? Are they actually trying to, I wondered if they were actually trying to personally discredit me as a human being and as an advocate for harm reduction and vaping, specifically harm reduction through vaping. I actually thought consciously, maybe I'm having more of an impact than I had anticipated.
Well, you got under her skin.
It seemed like some folks were not happy with my presence there.
They weren't. That does mean you effectively communicated your message. I think it backfired on them.
I think it did.
A lot of people saw your testimony.
I kind of, and you don't get to plan things out. I suppose you could have. if the Republican members of the committee had wanted to, strategize this. I just was hoping to get more questions, because every time a question was asked of me, you have about each member has about 5 minutes. So I was taking some of that time to try to correct misinformation that was being shared by other witnesses, including a doctor, supposedly a doctor of public health, who was saying things like the 7,000 chemicals that are produced when you burn tobacco are the same chemicals that are in e-cigarettes. And that's just
not true.
That's just not true. So he also said, and this was really frustrating to me as well, and I got my congressman, Glenn Grothman, to call him out on it. He said that PG and VG, the carrier liquids for e-cigarettes, are toxic, and I think he even said carcinogenic. I'd have to double check the testimony. And I wanted to know the mechanism, the biomechanism that would make that could prove he was telling the truth about that. And he ultimately, when my congressman asked, said, "We don't know."
And we're out of time.
Yep. So it was just, I'm glad I did it, and I'm actually glad Congresswoman Tlaib decided to try to make, she thought she'd make a fool of me, made a fool of herself. It went viral, and so now I get a chance to tell my story more broadly.
And the Washington Examiner, Fox News, they all picked it up, and they said, she tried to make you look like a nut, but she wound up looking like a nut herself.
Yeah, and maybe I should send her a thank you card, maybe a box of chocolates, or
go.
maybe a pod system.
There you go.
Tell her to try
Vicki.
it.
Thanks so much for telling your story.
My pleasure.
Please
Great to
keep
be
telling
here.
it.
Thank you.